Hello, my name is Nadia L. Hohn. I'm an author and I'm also an educator based in Toronto, Canada. And I will be sharing a book with you for Asian Heritage Month, celebrating the work of my friend, who's also an author educator in Toronto, Canada. Her name is SKLE, and this beautiful book is called Love from A to Z. I particularly enjoyed this book, not only for its gorgeous blue cover, and as you can tell, blue is my favorite color, but also because it is a teen romance between Zainab and Adam, and it's just very beautiful story. I completely enjoyed it. I also enjoyed it because it takes place in Qatar, which is a small country in the Middle East. I taught for a year in the neighboring country, the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE, and I was supposed to spend the day in Qatar touring Doha, but I missed my flight in Paris. So unfortunately, I've only been to the border at Qatar to get my passport stamped, and I've been to the airport in Doha, which is where this story takes place. So I today am going to read two parts of the story. First of all, we have Zainab and Adam, and they both share something in common. And it's going to start with Marvel. So Marvel is on page 29 for Zainab's Marvel, and you're going to find out what exactly they have in common. Marvel. I can't even think of one at the moment, but I know I promised a Marvel for every oddity. So, okay, here, I'll give you one. Cute guys. Well, the cute guy across from me as I write, he's preoccupied with his laptop, so I'll describe him. Exhibit A, cute guy at the airport. He's tall, his legs so long that if he didn't keep them propped up kind of high, he'd be tripping people walking in front of his seat. He looks like he's of Asian background like me. Well, one half of me, because dad is from Pakistan, which is in South Asia. But then mom's family being Guyanese, grandpa, and Trinidadian, grandma, makes her of West Indian background, which is considered to be Caribbean. This guy looked like he was of East Asian ancestry, either Chinese or Korean or from another country, plus something else. Plus something else, like me. I think what pinged cute guy alert immediately was the way his face was angular, including a perfect jawline and inaccessible seeming, but then his expression was so open. Like the first time we locked gazes, his eyes had looked lively somehow. Like he wasn't close up. He wasn't closed up. Like there's this easy smile on his face, even while reading his laptop screen. His hair was, okay, that's all. He saw me looking at him a few times, so I'm going to stop. Besides, if my big sister Sadia were here with me, she would text, lower your gaze like a good Muslim, Suzu. Now we're on to Adam, Thursday, March 7th. Marvel smiles. I looked at my first Marvel entry at the very beginning of my Marvels and Oddities journal, which I'd uploaded onto my laptop, and it was trees. That's when I was sketching in my journal, so there were tiny drawings of a few tree specimens found in Doha. Every subsequent Marvel entry was an unobservable item like sand, birds, water, potatoes, and a whole long entry on rocks when Hannah got crazy over them. Hannah's his sister. Typical thoughts recorded by someone who loved cataloging things. Almost entirely nature-oriented observations. I guess at some point it was natural. I would move on to less tangible things. That point occurred just this past year when I noticed the things I needed to hold on to. Marvels you couldn't necessarily grasp in your hands. Like smiles, and how instantaneously a genuine one can set you at ease. The brilliant blue hijabed girl stopped tapping away on her phone and pulled out her Marvels and Oddities journal. Welcome to Toronto. Perfect segue. The brilliant blue hijab girl stopped tapping away on her phone and pulled out her Marvels and Oddities journal, propped it on her carry-on suitcase, and began writing in it without pause, without glancing around. a frown on her face. I was still floored that we had the same journal, so I kept stealing glances at her, and then she stopped with her pen to her lips and looked straight at me. Luckily, I saw it coming. I moved my eyes in time. I hope. At one point, I had this sudden urge to strike up conversation. Isn't it weird we're doing the same exact thing? Recording marvels and oddities? Isn't it absolutely wild? But I let it pass. And then the flight happened. And the smile happened. Around midpoint in the flight, I got up to use the bathroom. And there she was, sitting in the very last row in a single seat, almost right across from the bathroom. She had the reading light turned on above her, so she was bathed in its glow. Her face, big eyes now, behind round glasses, lit. When she looked up and saw my tall self advancing toward the back of the plane, I nodded at her for some reason. Great. Creepy guy on plane. I had to explain the nod. It was basically the Muslim to Muslim nod, but looking at me, she probably didn't think I was Muslim. Without a marker like a skull cap or something, it's sometimes hard to distinguish us Muslim guys. So as I got right across from her seat, I said, Assalamu alaikum, and disappeared into the bathroom. Walaikum assalam, she said when I emerged. I hadn't realized you were Muslim. Sorry. Bam. Yes, since I was 11. There was a nice space in front of the bathroom, as it was also connected to a kitchenette, so I was able to face her from where I stood. Like my mom, she said, tilting her head to look up. Your mom's been Muslim since she was 11 too? No, she laughed. She converted when she married my dad. Well, right before she married him, in her 20s. Aha, I said real sagely. I crossed my arms and looked down the aisle. Someone was coming to use the bathroom. But wow, you at 11 years old? I've never heard of that. She tilted her head again, her eyes even wider. A little kid converting. And then she smiled. Big, open, and honest. I indicated the guy heading our way. Maybe I'll tell you about it on my next bathroom break. She laughed again. Back in my seat, I decided my next bathroom break would be in 40 minutes. I watched an episode of some reality show where contestants had to drive cars that they tinkered with to make more powerful, and then bent to retrieve my journal from the duffel bag. I had to show her the cover, Marvel and Oddities. There were a few people waiting for the bathroom now, so I joined the line until I noticed that the girl was sleeping, her arms crossed in front of her chest, her face lying on a pillow she'd propped next to the window. I glanced away. It felt weird to look at someone sleeping, and then I went back to my seat. The next time I ventured back there, she wasn't in her seat. Maybe she was in the bathroom herself. I put the journal back in my duffel. I thought I'd try one more time. I didn't care that everyone around me must have thought I had diarrhea or something, the amount of times I was making my way back there. I don't know why I just had to show her the journal. Maybe to let her know there were two of us? No, I think maybe it was to see that smile again. The flight attendants were blocking the aisle with the food cart. I ended up taking a few steps toward them before returning to my seat. From behind the cart, I had glimpsed the blue hijab girl. She had been watching something on the screen in front of her, so she hadn't seen me. Even though I had made up my mind to try one last time, I fell asleep until the flight landed in Doha and the guy beside me nudged me to get a move on. I picked up my duffel and got in the exodus line, thinking of Dad and Hannah. The Doha airport was so quiet that the whir of luggage wheels formed a hum that accompanied those of us who disembarked. It followed us to the visa counter and then to the luggage carousel. I glanced around a few times, but didn't see the girl from the plane. Real strange. First, that I saw the journal, and second, that it was preoccupying me so much.